This is Talk Magic to Me for May 7th, 2014.
Welcome everyone to Talk Magic to Me, the critical Disney discussion podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Danielle.
I'm Prince Eric.
And I'm DJ Jazzy Jeff JD. How's it hanging?
It's hanging well, and I bet it's hanging well for you since you're going to be graduating.
That's right. Yay!
Very exciting.
Fun times for everyone, indeed.
Yeah, except you have finals now.
Yeah,
So,
you know.
I guess that's not too fun.
No, but I don't have that many, so it's no big deal.
Indeed. Also, I want to make a shout out. My good friend Jen is graduating. Not the Jen that's on this podcast.
Oh,
Different
No,
Jen.
she did, yeah. She's older than I am.
Yeah.
Like, hold up a second.
Yeah, it's like, wait a second.
Graduating again.
Right?
Yeah,
Double.
good. Yeah, double graduation. Ooh.
Seems legit.
Yes, my good friend Jen is actually graduating, not the same time as JD, but also from Westchester.
Yeah.
She's in the afternoon ceremony. So that's my shout out to her.
Very nice.
I just want to remind our listeners that we do have a contest going on. So head on over to our website and you can view all the rules there and how you can enter. And yeah, so check that out at our website, www.talkmagictome.com. That's the number 2. And also for all you Android listeners, Podomatic now has an Android app that you can download and listen to us on. So be sure to download that and you'll get our show right on your phone.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Who doesn't want that?
I know, who doesn't want that? I'd want that if I had an Android.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's go into our This Day in Disney History segment.
Alright.
On this day in Disney history, May 7th, in 1840,
Oh,
long
wow.
way back,
Yeah, okay.
Russian composer Peter...
Tchaikovsky.
there you go. Tchaikovsky is...
Does it start with the T?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, Tchaikovsky.
Yeah, he was born today.
Oh, very nice.
And he, as listeners will know, he composed the Nutcracker Suite and Fantasia.
Ah.
Correct.
And he also composed the music for Sleeping Beauty.
That's, yeah.
So was all the music in that movie based off his ballet? Do you know, Eric?
I don't know, but it very much could have been.
Okay. Because I'm pretty sure all of the music in there is based off his ballet. So.
He also composed the 1812 Overture, which everybody knows.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and our next Disney history, or this day in Disney history, in 1917, actor and Disney legend David Tomlinson, best known for his role of George W. Banks in Mary Poppins, is born in Henley-on-Thames, England.
Yeah, he was English.
Yeah.
Also in Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Yes. And The Love Bug.
I've never seen that one.
Neither have I, but I have a list here.
Also, because this now, I just realized this because it does relate to Disney. Today is Star Wars Day.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So may the 4th be with you because
Well-
Star Wars is now owned by Disney, and Disney will be releasing episode 7, I believe, next year,
Yep.
2015.
Yes, so, as you know, listeners, we are recording on May the 4th.
Yeah,
May the 4th
now
be
they
with
know,
you.
yeah.
Haha.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that's right, because this day on Disney actually takes
Yep.
place the day that this releases, so I just gave that away.
That's
That's
okay. That is okay. Okay, well, listeners, you gotta know we record early, so it's all good.
We're liars.
Yeah, that's true. We do lie a little
Sorry.
bit.
We've been lying
Let
this
the
whole time.
Cat out of the bag.
Yeah, well, now that you listeners know that, now we can move forward. They might not trust us for a little while, though.
I don't think they'll trust us ever again.
Well, I don't know what to say about that.
Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, just gotta do what you gotta do.
That's it.
So moving way forward to 1988, the Disney Channel airs the 1955 animated film Lady and the Tramp, and it's the first time that the film has ever been shown on television.
Wow.
So I thought that was cool.
Took a long time.
I didn't know that.
I know, yeah, it's crazy. And then the last one I have is from 2012. The Disney Wonder docks in Honolulu Harbor after making the rounds on neighbor islands, and it is the first ever Disney cruise line voyage to Hawaii.
I went on the Disney Wonder when I was 10.
Really?
Yeah, we went on the Wonder, yeah.
Oh, nice.
We didn't go to Hawaii, but did that even leave from Florida? How did they get to Hawaii?
I don't know, actually.
Probably left from California.
I wonder, because that usually...
Yeah, probably.
Oh, left from California.
Yeah.
Left from Hawaii. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
how they would do that.
Yeah, I didn't... Well, actually, they have the, there's another podcast, it's called Kids Adventures Hawaii, and it talks about Disney's, I think they have I don't know if you call it like an island or a little resort. It's called Oahu, I think it's called.
Oh.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Oahu, I think it is.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah, so-
something like that.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I guess that's where they were going to. I don't know if it's new or what, but... Yeah. So
Of course, Disney owns an island. That's just...
I know.
They also... No, well, they own Castaway Key,
They do.
which is
Right.
where we went, yeah.
Yeah, that's right, they do. Yeah, so... I'm very surprised Disney owns an island. I mean, how about you guys?
No.
No, yeah,
No?
they could own the,
It's like,
they could own
yeah,
the moon, and I
yeah.
wouldn't be surprised.
You're not surprised?
No.
Wow.
No.
Well, I'm surprised. No, just kidding. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for this day in Disney history.
Alright.
And, of course, Jen is not here right now because that lucky girl is in Disney World. So, she
Getting to
cannot
do-
say...
Disney thing.
Oh, that's true, that's where she is.
Yeah, but I don't really know if there would be anything for our topic today
That's
in
true.
Disney World. So, I don't think she's missing out on much. So...
You never know.
That's true. You do never know. But
Other than the California Adventure is sort of in the same area that the Los Angeles Angels Stadium is, and also the Disney used to own, or I don't know if they still do, but they at least used to own part of that team.
oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's cool.
A couple years ago, the baseball all-star game was held at that stadium, and typically every year, traditionally, they have all the players that get selected to play in the all-star game do sort of a parade where they put all the guys that are in the all-star game from one team all on one float, and they'll have them go around the city, and they'll go into the stadium. And so, because of where it was situated, that parade actually went right through Disneyland.
Oh, wow.
And they had it was televised on the MLB network and everything. I remember watching that. Yep.
That's cool.
That's pretty neat.
I guess, listeners, if we didn't say it yet, I guess, our episode today is about Angels in the Outfield.
Yes.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
one?
Oh, which one?
1994.
As expected. Yeah.
Not 1951.
You know, Eric, I had a hard time believing that there was based off another movie.
No, it was.
Yeah.
And it was in the credits and everything, and I never heard of that movie before you mentioned it to me.
Most people because Angels in the Outfield from 1994 was actually about the Angels, the baseball team, so they think that it was written to be about the team because that makes sense. But the original 1951 one was actually about the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yeah, I wish Jen was here.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Angels did not exist yet as a baseball team in 1951.
Oh, okay.
They weren't made into a team yet.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That is an interesting piece of information.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this movie, I think, when was this made? Was this 1994, you said?
1994.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so, this movie, I remember when this came out. I remember theatrical trailer was on my Lion King VHS tape.
Huh.
I think I know the trailer better than the movie.
Seems legit.
Yeah, so...
The trailer, I saw it on YouTube. It has the music from the baseball movie The Natural playing in it.
Does it?
Yeah.
I knew it sounded familiar, the music.
Yeah, I know the music from the main theme from Angels in the Outfield. Da 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 dee da dee da. That was from Angels in the Outfield. The music that was in the trailer was actually the theme. If you watch the movie The Natural, the bomb ba da da dee dee da don da 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 dee dee don. That music.
Oh, wow.
Actually written by Randy Newman, also the writer of all the not Star Wars, Toy Story music.
Yeah.
Randy Newman.
He's written a lot
Oh,
of
he
stuff.
did The Natural?
Yep.
Oh, okay. The person who did the music for Angels in the Outfield is the same composer who did the music in the Wonders of Disney Animation video. Not the music from Dinosaur,
Right.
but the music from Dragonheart.
Oh.
Okay.
I mean, Randy Edelman, I think his name is.
I've heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, so, and I have to tell you, I think this score is one of the most underrated scores. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, the opening shot of the movie and the clouds and the baseball.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, that was such a 90s movie opener.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
This is like the most stereotypical '90s kids movie
Mhm.
True.
that you could ever get. Right down to like the deadbeat divorced, or loner dad,
Yeah.
with the orphan kids,
Yeah.
and it was just such a. Right down to the ending where they win the game, and it was just such a stereotypical '90s movie. But I loved it. I really liked it anyway.
Yeah, I loved it too. So.
90s nostalgia.
Oh, it so was. But,
I remember one of the first episodes of, I think the first episode of Lizzie McGuire. Lizzie's talking on the phone, and this is before they had cell phones, so she's talking on the house phone, and Matt keeps wanting to use the phone, so he finally gets the phone, and he's talking to somebody about oh, you were supposed to give me that homework from last night, and the kid says something, and Matt says, I don't care if Angels in the Outfield was on TV, I needed that homework.
Nice
Oh
little
my God.
reference there.
That really is. I love the references
Yeah.
to Lizzie McGuire, so that's a really good one. Yeah, so the movie starts, like we said, with that 90s intro.
90s
And-
cheese.
Yes, and then we see the two main characters, Roger and JP, riding their bikes.
Yeah, extreme.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a real 90s thing.
Again, a 90s thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, this is a 90s inner city movie. They made I don't know if you guys noticed this, there are a lot of inner city topics that were addressed during the 90s. You see, Hey Arnold, and here's Angels in the Outfield, and I wrote a few others. All That, I think that was inner city as well, and I love
All
it.
that.
All That, yeah.
Wasn't that a sketch comedy show?
It is, but
Mhm.
it's based off the inner city stuff. And I did actually watch a documentary on YouTube, so it wasn't really professional. But it was
Mhm.
about All That, and it was
Really?
talking about how 90s Nickelodeon was so much more diverse than
Well, it was.
Nickelodeon today.
Well, that it
It
was.
was. Every
Yeah.
show on Nickelodeon today is the same thing.
Yeah, and I don't know, I just noticed that 90s movies and TV shows seem to address this more, and I really like it.
Hmm.
But,
If you look at the kids that were all in the short-term facility, there was a white kid, there was the black kid, and then there was actually a Hispanic kid.
right, yeah.
Ooh, he's the one that leaves, yeah.
Yeah. I always forgot about him.
Yeah, because you don't see him that much.
Yeah. So then you see these kids riding their bikes, and they get home, and Roger finds out that his dad is there to visit him, and right away you see that his dad is this kind of bad boy.
Yeah.
Smoking.
Yeah.
is-
Smoking,
Yeah.
doesn't he put the cigarette out on his leg or something?
Yeah, exactly.
And you realize right away that, he is in foster care, and it's so sad. You cry. I cried.
Of course you
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But it's so sad, like, when you watch this scene, and, movies, at least today, it doesn't seem like they address this topic. At least kids' movies don't seem to.
No.
Not the same way.
Yeah, exactly. Not in the same way.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
I love how, like in Up, when the kid's talking to the old guy, and he says the name of a woman, and he says, oh, she always talks to my dad about this, and he says, oh, is that your mom? No, that's not my mom. Like, it was like his dad's mistress or something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, who knew?
I haven't seen Up in a while. So.
Yeah.
Fix that.
So, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there's a lot of famous actors in this movie. Like, I guess before they were famous, I don't know.
Well, Christopher Lloyd, coming off of his work as Doc Brown in the Back to the Future series, because 94, the last one came out in like 90, Back to the Future 3, so that had already been, he'd already done all of that.
Right. Matthew
McConaughey. What was he? He was one of the players.
Yeah.
He was the center fielder that was the first guy to have the Angels do something to him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, he was.
I thought he was the father, but he wasn't.
Mm-mm. I didn't recognize the father.
The Joseph Gordon-Levitt is the kid, actually.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the kid. He's the really little kid.
I always think of that role for him. Danny Glover.
Yeah.
A guy, I don't know his name. I should have looked it up, but the stupid pitcher.
Well, who is he? I don't know who he is.
I don't know his name, but I used to watch Desperate Housewives.
Oh, when he was on. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he was on that.
Tony Danza was that.
Yeah,
was Mel
Tony
Clark.
Danza.
Yeah.
Yes.
The foster care lady is the actress who was the pigeon lady from Home Alone 2.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that at all until I watched it this time.
I really like her.
Yeah, she seems.
She's such a nice motherly figure.
Yeah. What about the guy that was supposed to take care of the kids? Who was he?
I don't know his name either, but I know he's been in other things. Oh, Taylor Negron? That's his name. Who plays that guy. He was in Stuart Little. I don't remember that.
Who really remembers Stuart Little, to be fair?
Yeah,
that's true. I remember there was a boat race at one point.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's So Raven he was in an episode of?
Oh, I don't remember that.
He was in the Mary-Kate and Ashley series, So Little Time. That's where I recognize him from.
That's it.
I remember that.
I never actually watched that show, but...
Yeah,
But I knew. Yeah, nothing else is standing out to me. Batman and Robin. Oh, that's a video game. Never mind.
Ah.
Oh, he was on Friends as well.
I see.
Let's see here.
So, we see that Roger's team is I guess they're California Angels in this movie.
At the time, see, they've had their name changed so many times. They were originally the California Angels, and that's why my dad still says, oh, they're playing for California, but they're not called that anymore. Then they were then called the Anaheim Angels, and now they're called the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Which is ridiculous.
Which there's also the Los Angeles Dodgers, but they're in a different league, so it makes no sense.
Right.
I think that calling them California was a lot easier.
Yeah, I'm used to Anaheim, but California still is fine. What is it now? Los Angeles.
Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Yeah, that's still.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the Angels are his team, and his dad says to him Roger asks his dad if when they're going to be a real family again, and his dad says, the way I see it, when the Angels win the pennant. Which is that just they win and go to the playoffs, or is that the World Series?
See, this is what I don't understand, because the movie gets this wrong. When you win the pennant, there's the American League pennant and the National League pennant. The Angels are in the American League, so they would win the American League pennant. Usually when a team, that's what they call it when a team they win their league, and then they go to the World Series, because the World Series is the team from the National League. and the team from the American League playing each other for the championship.
Right.
So winning the pennant, it means you win the National League or the American League pennant. But as we see at the end of the movie, they say, oh, when it comes down to the last day of the season, in 1994, there was a playoff series you had to go through. You didn't win the pennant from the regular season. You couldn't have won the pennant from the last day of the season. You would have to go through you would have to go through the championship series and everything like this. So the movie gets that wrong. But really what winning the pennant is what they call it when you win the championship series and you go to the World Series.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a little confused. I did think the movie got it wrong a little. And now you just confirmed it.
Mm-hmm.
So the Angels have not been winning at all. They're terrible. They're in last place. And so his dad's basically saying they will never be a family again.
Yeah, they had lost, I think, 15 in a row.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And they even show the team. I like how the movie doesn't just focus entirely on Roger. It also focuses on the corporate side of baseball and shows the players and this coach who, I guess he came from the Cubs, I think? Or
the Cincinnati Reds.
And he was on a winning streak, and then he came to the Angels to fix the team up, and they're just awful, and
yeah.
he can't get through to them, but he also has a really bad temper, so no wonder he can't get through to them.
Yeah.
But then we see Roger pray to God, which is a really funny scene, because I love when he says if you're a man or a woman.
Oh, really? I don't...
Just in case.
Yeah. And then at the end of the prayer, I never got this, but at the end, he says something like, or he says amen, and then he rolls over again, he says, or a woman.
Ah, I got you.
Oh.
I was like, oh my gosh. But, do we think, it's interesting because obviously when you pray to God, not everything will come true. And I'm wondering if, Roger's prayer was... Do you think that kids possibly watching this movie would think, oh, if I wish for angels, they're going to come out of the sky just like they did for Roger? Or do you think kids just knew it was a story?
I don't know.
Depends on how smart you are.
I would have thought that.
You would have thought that it would have happened to you?
Yeah, because I can tell you that a lot of times if, the Phillies weren't going well, I would do stuff like that. Like, oh, God, please just let them win tomorrow or something like that. And sometimes, sometimes it's not really about... It's about, as they explain at the end of the movie, it's more about believing in something.
Yeah.
It's not really about literally... It's sometimes in... baseball especially, it can seem like a team that's really bad has angels helping them win. And so, for example, the 1993 Phillies, who were predicted before the season to be absolutely terrible, they were in last place the year before. They were supposed to be an awful team, and for some reason everything just clicked, and every guy had a career year, and they just won, and they actually went to the World Series when they were predicted to be absolutely terrible.
Huh.
So it can seem like angels are helping a team, but it's more about... I don't think it's more about literally praying for... It's about just believing that something can happen.
Yeah.
So you think... It seems like the movie's more about, the sports type of believing rather than this Christian.
Well, both. Well, I don't think that they meant religiously. I think that they meant more just in general believing in something and having faith that something... Because he wouldn't give up. They showed him in the tree and they were losing really badly, and he's like, oh, come on, strike him out, and they're losing 10-2 or something.
Right.
And they lose 15 games in a row, and he wanted a family that badly that he's just, he believed in something, and he wanted that badly.
Right.
In the original movie, it's actually, it's a girl, it's a little girl, and I believe that they meet her later. They don't meet her right then. They start, the angels start coming, and then they find the girl, the manager finds the girl, and she said, "Oh, I've been praying for you every night," and so it sort of happens later. It's not like because they don't show that to start.
Right.
Oh, okay. I see.
Interesting.
But yeah, Roger prays to God that he'll bring, or he'll help the angels win the pennant so that he can have a real family again.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess they go to the game, and an angel flies out of the sky and lifts Matthew McConaughey in the air.
Yeah, that's who that was.
Yeah, the ball flies into center field, and Matthew McConaughey is not going to catch it. An angel lifts him up, and he catches the ball. And so after the game, JP wins to get his picture with the manager.
George Knox.
George Knox, yeah. And he gives the ticket to Roger because he doesn't like strangers. And Roger tells Knox that there was an angel in the sky, and Knox is like, great, a psycho kid.
Yeah.
And so then I guess the first game that they go to, Knox comes, he brings Roger's picture with him to Roger's house, and he learns that Roger is under foster care, and he asks Maggie if Roger tells these funny stories a lot and has a wild imagination. And Maggie responds saying, well, most kids in this situation have a very grounded sense of reality. And
yeah,
which I love because it shows that, like, more that Roger's telling the truth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that a lot. And so Knox invites him to come to the games from now on as like a good luck charm. And JP is able to come too.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to the game, and I guess, and that weird, the funny pitcher guy is up. The guy who chews the gum. And what do you guys think of those scenes with him? Because I thought they were really corny.
I thought they were funny. I thought it was fine. It sort of showed like the characters that can be in baseball, like how this guy, like, he said, oh, he does his signature slide when he goes onto the pitcher's mound, and he would, like, keep bringing his glove down, and the manager was like, come on, just throw the ball. And it's just showing, because there's there's a shortstop who used to do a backflip every time he would come off the field.
Really?
There's a third, he's a Hall of Famer, Ozzie Smith for the St. Louis Cardinals. They called him the Wizard, because his name was Ozzie.
Wow.
There was a third baseman for the Cubs who used to, every time they would win, he would run down the line and like click his heels 3 times, and so it's just showing the different characters that I know there are. I know the Phillies used to have a pitcher who would sit in the bullpen, and there's a phone that every time that the manager is in the dugout and wants somebody in the bullpen to start warming up, he'll get on the phone and say, okay, I want this guy to start warming up. This guy on the Phillies would actually pick the phone up from the bullpen every time somebody would hit a home run, and he would call the dugout and, like, talk to the guy on the phone, and they would always show him doing that.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, nobody's ever done that before, nobody's done it since, but you'll always remember, oh, that's the guy that used to call them on the phone.
Wow. Very interesting.
I like that.
I guess you're right, that it did show, like, almost the frustration of some players, I guess.
I'm just trying to show how, like, bad they were.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's true. I thought, I personally thought his character was, like, just kind of annoyingly comic, but...
A little over
I
the
thought
top.
he was funny. I liked him.
Yeah, but I can see
funny.
why they had him.
Yeah.
So, when Christopher Lloyd comes, he introduces himself as Al.
L.A. spelled backwards.
Yes.
Because the hat, yeah.
See what they did?
Yeah.
And, he's basically the head angel, as Roger says later. And he says that Roger's the only one who can see or hear him, and he tells him why the angels are there to help him out.
I saw somebody on the internet, the Nostalgia Critic did a video about, like, 90s sports movies, and he was talking about, like, how ridiculous is this? Like, we have like a tsunami, and God's like, oh, sorry, not really my department. We have like all these awful things happening, but one kid prays that he wanted his baseball team to win so that he could be reunited with his jerk father, and they're like, oh my God, angels, go help him out.
Yeah. I think that's a really interesting topic. I do want to. It will probably, the conversations will get pretty heavy actually, because this is a religious type of movie, so I do want to bring that up because that is a good question.
Yeah.
Why we pray all the time for things, and this kid asks one prayer and suddenly it's answered.
I think that it was just about believing. It's not literal. It was more about believing in something. It might have been, the angels might not have even been real.
Well,
just because he was the only one that could see them.
I would say since he could see them and since they were doing things, I'd say they were real. That they were doing.
You know what I mean? I mean, maybe. I thought of more of like a metaphor or something like that.
Oh, I think they were a metaphor, but I think in the story itself, they were real.
Yeah, I'd say they were real.
But one thing I actually wanted to bring up now that you said that was, this is the scene when Roger sees the angel. I think she's massaging like the worst hitter on the team.
Danny Hemmerlich.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the utility infielder who's very typically the worst hitter on the team.
Well, they have their best hitter about to come up, but Roger says he sees an angel, and he says send Hemmerly, is that his name?
Danny Hemmerling.
Hemmerling, okay.
Yeah.
So he sends Hemmerling in, because Roger says there's an angel. And, you know, because I study theology and the Christian gospel, and so not to take things too heavy, but it is very reminiscent of, in the Bible, you have to see Jesus using people that don't seem worthy to do something, and they end up being worthy, and that seemed to be almost, I don't know if Disney was doing that on purpose. I'm going to say no.
I think that's just a common story trope.
Yeah, exactly, and I think it's there, but I don't think they did it for the reason I just said.
Right.
But that just stood out to me, and I liked it a lot. But I didn't like that the ball like froze in midair when he hit it. I thought that was too silly. I was just like, oh.
Yeah, that was a little, when like Christopher Lloyd's like playing hacky sack with the ball and it's going everywhere. That was, but I think that it was just like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just supposed to be like an exaggeration.
Right. And it is, I mean, it was targeted for kids. I think that's one of the only scenes, though, that really over-exaggerates for kids. Because I think Sorry, what?
I said I think so. You're right.
Yeah. So, then, I think I skipped a bit here. But I skipped to the scene. I know Roger, he goes to a few more games. He sees angels. The angels are winning constantly. And always the players are making miraculous catches and hits and stuff. And people just don't know how they're doing it. And then we see the baseball game where George Knox plays with Roger and his friends.
Yeah. That's just because at the beginning he said that he hated kids. And so it was just about how he was getting more sort of softened up the kids to at the end when he wants to be a father and he takes them in.
Yeah, which I thought was really great character development.
Yeah.
They took it nice and slow with him, and you could actually, it was believable.
That's true.
But I thought it was funny, the run home joke.
Yeah, I remember that part from when I was a kid. That's like the only part that I actually got.
I know, same.
I remember.
Yeah.
As soon as that part came, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I remember this part.
Yeah. And also, speaking of George Knox, we see him with his rising temper, and, you know, then Roger comes along and is almost like his calming, the thing that comes to calm him, because he has to be patient with him. First of all, he's a kid, and he also has to be patient with him because this kid seems to be his good luck streak guy.
Right.
And whenever he's at a game, the Angels win, and it seems that in the beginning he's using Roger more for selfish desires, and then by the end he actually used Roger as a son.
Also, interesting that in the part where he says, "Oh, I think that you shouldn't curse because the Angels don't like it." In the original movie, that was the main problem with the manager in the original movie, was that he cursed all the time. But they never actually, you didn't hear him cursing. It was just any time that he was supposed to be cursing, it was just a bunch of mumbled gibberish that he was saying. Because I guess in 1951 they didn't want to actually show a guy cursing. And so that was sort of his main character thing, and that was sort of the Angels came to help because he cursed, and so that was from the original movie.
Oh,
That's interesting.
yeah.
It makes me think of the cursing thing. I don't know his actual name, but his character's name is oh my gosh, I can't, in Home Alone.
Marv?
Not Marv, the other guy, Harry.
No, Harry was the tall one.
When he curses all the time.
No, it was Marv.
Is that Mark?
No,
Yeah.
Harry.
Harry was the tall one.
Yeah, he curses all the time.
Yeah.
He goes, "Furga, furga," or whatever.
Oh, Joe Pesci.
Yes, Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
There we go.
That was the one I said would be my grandfather
Oh, yeah, that's right.
when we talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
Or like Looney Tunes or something like that
Yeah.
back in the
Yeah.
day.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good point.
Yeah.
So then, Roger, he's supposed to go to a game. I think it's the second to last game in the series, would you call it?
The second in the season
The season, I think.
against the White Sox.
Right, yeah. And Roger can't go because he has a court date. And when he goes, his dad is deciding that he can't take care of him, which is a real letdown because... I guess kids, at least kids in Roger's situation, could relate to this because... And even kids who aren't in Roger's situation could. When you pray to God and he doesn't answer your prayer. And of course, Roger's is a bit more serious, but...
Right.
You know, the Angels... Yeah, like, the Angels did come to help him, but he didn't get the desired effect that he had wanted. Or the desired
By the
result.
way,
Well,
the kid Joseph Gordon-Levitt,
Yeah.
he just so that the listeners at home know this, in the last Batman movie, the Batman Dark Knight Rises, he was Robin.
yes, he was.
Yeah. And by the way, I remember seeing the movie in the theaters, as soon as that guy came out, I totally knew that was Robin. I remember at the end when it revealed his name as Robin, everybody's like, "Oh my goodness, that's Robin!" And as soon as he came on, I'm like, okay, this guy has dark hair, he's a young guy, this is totally Robin. It was so obvious.
I wish I could say, like, if I knew or not, but I think my brother told me that he was Robin before I saw the movie,
Oh,
so I didn't really get a chance to guess. I don't know what I would have thought.
everybody knew. It's already a
Really?
thing, yeah. I was like, everyone was kind of, like, the other people were kind of upset because they're like, oh, why'd they name him Robin? They should have called him, like, his actual name, Dick Grayson. Everybody would have known that for the most part.
Yeah, that's true. That was his actual name.
Robin's just
But
kind
they
of
made
like, huh.
His real name is Dick Grayson. He was an orphan from a family of circus performers where they were, although I don't know, they were all killed or something,
Yeah.
and he lived.
They were killed.
Yeah. And see, here it says his name is John Blake. No, his name was Dick Grayson originally.
Yeah.
I don't know why they said that was his name.
I don't know,
I wonder
yeah.
why they did that.
Robin's a little too on the nose, I think.
Yeah, it was a little bit cliche, but I
Yeah.
still love it.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good movie, kind of. So, you know.
It wasn't the... Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's a whole other...
Yeah, that's a whole other
topic.
thing. Yeah.
Let's make a Batman podcast.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
We can do that.
And everyone
Batman here.
was, that's right. Everyone was speaking grovelly voices all the time.
Robin needs to buy me a cheeseburger. Okay.
I was Robin for Halloween one year.
Really? Oh
Awesome.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Sure. That was actually a really good costume.
No, yeah, I remember I made it myself. Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe we need to put that picture in the show notes.
Oh.
Possibly.
Is the
Yes.
world ready for that?
Is that okay, Eric?
Yeah, I can get that to you.
I probably... Isn't it on Facebook?
Yeah, you can take that down, yeah.
And there we
Yeah.
have it.
It was from like 6 years ago, but you can find it.
Oh boy.
It's happening. Totally happening.
Alright. Yeah, so that was our Batman rant for the day. Or for the episode, sorry.
Everyone loves Batman, so it's fine.
I know, seriously. How
Yeah.
could you not enjoy the Batman rant?
Exactly.
I know Batman enjoys it.
Exactly.
Yes, I do!
Ah.
Sorry.
Oh, Batman.
Batman's a little loud.
Yeah, his voice got a little high pitched. I don't know what's going on.
He took some enhancers.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Kind of like, in like, I don't know if you guys have seen this movie. It's a pretty terrible movie, but John Tucker Must Die.
No, that...
I definitely know of it, but
Okay,
I've never seen
well then
it.
I guess it's okay you didn't see it, but there's a scene where he takes supplements by accident and he
Oh,
starts having womanly.
gotcha.
Yeah, so
Legit.
we won't go into John Tucker Must Die.
Okay, good.
So yeah, back to the court date. So I think personally, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he is an incredible actor, but a child actor, he was also pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Those tears, oh my gosh, so sad. And I don't know why, but he always reminded me of Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Huh.
I don't know if anybody else picked up on that. We see his dad leave. He doesn't even say anything to him, which I guess because he didn't want the emotional attachment. He
Right.
just wanted to get it over with. And so then Roger comes home and Knox sits with him in the car and gives him a little pep talk, I guess. And I didn't write down his quotes. Did anybody else write it down?
No.
No.
Like, you can't go through life thinking that everybody you'll meet will eventually let you down or something.
Very good. That was actually in the trailer.
There we go. Ah, that's, yeah.
You should have known that.
You should have known that one.
Oh,
What's going on?
yeah. Well, I hit myself in the head.
Yeah. My Lion King VHS is a bootleg, so...
Really?
Yeah. Oops.
You know?
It was on YouTube, so...
Yeah, it is on YouTube.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to have a grandmother who bought almost all the VHS tapes for Disney, so
That's cool.
that's why. Yeah, and she still has them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I watched Fantasia. So, yeah, I think that was Knox's problem, that he always expected people to let him down. And when Roger came along, you know, he was a kid talking about fantasy stuff almost. And he just didn't think that he could believe in him, that he sort of took a chance, and now all of a sudden he's learning from Roger that you have to believe in something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then they're outside. I think Knox stays over for dinner, and they're outside.
They like, make dinner together, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And you see this. I really like Roger's character development as well.
What were they even, like, making? Like meatloaf or something?
I honestly don't remember. I actually watched.
It was like ground beef, but they put an egg in it, and they were, like, mushing it together.
That was probably meatloaf, though. I think so. I've never made meatloaf, so I don't know. But that sounds like what my mom does.
Can't be sure, but it
yeah.
sounds like it.
Because I am such a cook. So, you know.
Make me a sandwich.
Chop
Okay.
chop.
Where's Jen to defend me?
Oh no, it's 2-1 today.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
So, and then they're outside and they see the moon, and JP says, "Look, it's God's thumbnail," which made me think of God's thumb from Holes.
Oh, right.
Oh, I don't know.
But then Roger responds, "That's just the moon, JP," which is really interesting because now finally he seems to be rooted so much in reality after what happened. But it doesn't seem to take him long to start believing again.
Yeah.
After that, at least. So then George Knox, JP is crying when the Angels lose the day that Roger isn't there.
Yeah.
And that mean sports announcer comes over and gets it out of him that there's a kid, obviously Roger, who can see angels, and he wasn't there that day to be their good luck charm.
I think that that guy used to be a manager, and he was mad that George Knox got the job and he didn't, so he wanted the job.
Oh.
That's what I got.
That makes sense, actually, why he'd be so bitter.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because he really hated Knox. Yeah, so the news gets out that Knox believes that there's angels helping his team win. And so the owner of the Angels calls him in and fires him. And Knox says, no, just give me a chance. And he says, you need to make a statement that you do not believe angels are helping your team win. And so that puts Knox in a bad situation because he does feel like he believes. But if he wants to keep his job, and he does, because he feels like he actually is a part of a team now, then he has to make the statement. So he's in a bit of a
Pickle.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh.
I was going to say a rock in a hard place.
There you go.
I like pickles, so...
Pickle's so much better.
There you go.
Yeah, I like pickles.
So they go to the press conference, and he says, he sort of dances around the actual idea of angels, and he says you can call it faith, you can call it angels, you can call it whatever you want, which is from the trailer, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Maggie and...
This was my zippity-doo-dah moment, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Was when Maggie says... them saying, do you really believe angels play baseball? And she says, since the All-Star break, yes. And then everybody starts laughing.
Yeah. That's actually...
Because the All-Star break, that was like when they started winning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I won't go into it now, but you sort of share my zippity-doo-dah moment as well. But yeah, I loved Maggie's speech when she talks about the football player kneeling in prayer, and then the pitcher who will cross himself when he steps onto the mound, and how nobody says anything about that. But then this boy believes in angels, and suddenly people freak out. But I guess it's sort of a different situation. But still, she makes a really good point. Something to think about, at least. So then we see everybody stand up saying that they don't want to play for anybody else but George Knox.
That was kind of a cliche moment, but whatever.
Yeah.
It was the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
I was like, ooh, that cheese factor. Ooh.
Seriously?
It was so high, but I'm not mad.
No. It was awesome, but yes. Extremely cheesy.
Yes.
Yeah, so they all stood up for him, and he is still the manager of the team. So then they're at they called it a championship, I guess. So I don't think it would be called.
It wasn't. It was the last day of the season.
Right. And Al comes, and this broke my heart when he says that Mel only has 6 months left to live.
Yeah, that was pretty sad.
Yeah, so...
He said he's been smoking, and if you remember at the beginning, he was smoking, yeah.
Which was really good. I like, again, ring composition. I like how they tied it back. I wonder what you guys think. Do you think that a movie like this, showing these angels and praying to God and predicting when somebody's going to die and stuff, do we think that this movie would have been made today if it hadn't been made in the 90s?
No.
No.
Probably not, at the risk of offending someone or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was made at a time when political correctness wasn't so high,
Right.
I guess. And because, not that there are a lot of movies out there that talk about God and stuff and Christianity, but I think today you'd be hard-pressed to find one that isn't in your face.
Right.
Where this movie is, it's there, God bless you.
Thank you.
It's there, but, they don't force it on you, which I like.
Right.
But I don't think a movie like this would be made because of the political correctness.
Probably not.
We see the Angels. They're struggling, and Al tells Roger that the Angels can't help in a championship. That's what he says, championship. And
Yeah,
that's
that's
where I was
true.
confused. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Well,
maybe they mean the division championship, but it
Right.
wouldn't be the pennant.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
But I guess a kid wouldn't know that.
No.
But yeah. Well, a kid who's into sports actually might know that.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I think if my brother he was really into sports when he was like 9 years old, so I'm pretty sure 9 or 10 he would have known the difference.
Right.
But he says that they can't help out this time around. And so the Angels, everything they're doing is their own skill this time. So it's showing that they have improved. And I don't think it's saying like they improved so much, like they had the skill all along. It's just saying that it's now showing and they're working as a team now. Or before they weren't, I guess. They put Mel in as the pitcher because he has an angel, or they say he has an angel with him. And he does really well, but he's wearing out, and so Danny Glover or George Knox goes out and tells Mel that he has an angel with him, which he doesn't, but the whole crowd stands up, and again, a very cheesy moment, but I teared up. The music was so beautiful.
Yeah, man.
I'll have to post, there's like a little, I guess you call it score suite, you would call it?
Yeah.
I'll have to post that because it's on YouTube, and it's not on the actual soundtrack that you can buy now.
Probably during the credits.
It's not even that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like in a different, not a different pitch, a different, I don't know what you would call it. Because I know you told me, Eric, it's not, pitch is different. I don't know the wording, but
different key?
Yeah, different key, there we go.
Oh.
The music's in a different key. And I was waiting for it, it never actually played. And then I went on iTunes, and it's not on the soundtrack, so I'll put that in the show notes, but I listen to it all the time, it's so good. But, yeah, so that was pretty amazing. And, I like how, Roger's waving his arms around.
Yeah.
He looks so earnest. But, so then Mel throws the ball, the batter hits it, and Mel leaps out and catches it. The stadium erupts, and Danny Glover tells them, like, you didn't have an angel with you, you did it yourself. Which brings up this point, like, the sort of psychology of people, and when you tell them a certain thing. Kind of like in Harry Potter, when Harry tells Ron that he drank the lucky potion, and Ron does well in Quidditch, and the whole time he never actually drank it. So the same thing with angels, like, a lot of people say about religion, like, that it's something people tell each other to have comfort, to be sort of an excuse to help them.
Also, when they brought Mel Clark in for the first game that he pitched, because he had an angel with him, and the angel he helped out with the first pitch.
Yeah.
I don't think he did anything after that.
I think he did, it's just they didn't show it, really.
But
I think he did. I was confused about that, too. I'm assuming he did. Unless he suddenly pushed a muscle back in Mel's arm.
Oh.
Yeah. Ew. But,
So let me get that.
Yeah. So it helped him pitch, I don't know. But yeah, and then we see Danny Glover come. I keep saying Danny Glover. George Knox comes home with Roger and JP, and Maggie tells Roger that somebody has, I guess, gotten a form to adopt him, or somebody's going to adopt him. And we find out that it's George Knox, and he's going to adopt JP too. So that was another bit of a cliche ending, but it made sense to George Knox's character development. So, and that ended the movie.
Very nice.
Yeah. And I've got to say, even though the movie was a bit cliche, I really love it.
No, yeah, I really liked it.
It's cliche now, but not at the time, I don't think. Or maybe it was at the time, probably.
That's true, actually. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah. Or maybe I'm not sure which was the one that perfected that formula, but maybe this was the one, and then, every other 90s sport, or any other sports movies for the most part in general, have used this formula to death.
That is true.
So, especially like the Mighty Ducks, I know. Especially.
Oh my gosh.
Especially the Mighty Ducks.
I love the D2 Mighty Ducks growing up, so I feel no
It's
shame.
literally the same movie every time.
Yeah.
They didn't even try.
Iceland was a terrible team. They were scary. Gosh, how could you not root for USA?
Well,
Mighty Ducks.
you always root for America, but
Yeah.
that's not the point.
Oh, man. Such beautiful music.
Yeah.
Alright, well, why don't we move... Well, first let's do our zippity-doo-dah moment, and then we'll do our game.
Okay.
So... Let's start with JD this time. for
Okay.
zippity-doo-dah.
I would say my zippity-doo-dah moment would probably be whatever point when the angels first start. I guess when the kid wishes and the angel comes and helps him out for the first time.
That was the Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, the magical moment because you're like, they do
That is
exist.
That is a really good scene.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, okay, this is legit. Like,
Yeah.
there are literal angels in this outfield. I see what you did there.
And like the sequel, Angels in the Infield.
Yeah.
What about you, Aaron?
I already said mine.
Oh, well. Yeah, it's true. Say it again.
It was the line, do you believe that angels play baseball? And she says, well, since the All-Star break, yes.
When I was younger, I would watch that and I'd be like, what the heck is she saying? I never knew what she was saying. Mine's similar to Eric's. It's when, she says, you don't criticize a football player for kneeling in prayer or a pitcher for crossing himself on the mound. So why criticize a boy who believes in angels? I like that scene.
It's a good scene.
Yeah. So why don't we move on to our game from Eric?
Okay. This game is basically, I'm going to give you a name, and what you're going to do is you are going to tell me whether the name, it was a real baseball player or was not a real baseball player.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Oh.
So...
Are you giving it to us individually, or as a team?
Well, everybody.
Okay.
Everybody. The first name is Grover Cleveland Alexander.
Real baseball player.
Yeah, I'm gonna say real. Yeah.
Okay, he was.
Yeah.
He
Oh.
was he was pitcher in the early 1900s. He was a real pitcher.
No.
The next name is Izzy Goodenough. Well, his real name, I should say Larry Goodenough. And then...
I'm gonna say yes.
We'll say... I'll say no.
Actually, he was a hockey player. He used to play for the Flyers.
Yeah!
His name was Larry Goodenough, so they gave him the nickname Izzy, so his name would be Izzy Goodenough.
Alright.
Oh man. Alright, you
And they used to say Izzy Goodenough. The answer, unfortunately, was no.
Oh, no.
That's sad.
Here, another name, Milton Bradley.
No. Well, wait.
Milton Bradley.
I'm gonna say no.
Don't look these up.
I
I'm not
will
looking.
say yes.
The Milton Bradley was a real baseball player.
Yeah.
Only a couple of years ago, actually. He used to be an outfielder. He was a mean guy and nobody liked him, so he would always get traded.
Oh.
That's ironic, since it was like a kid's thing.
Yeah, it is the name of a board game.
Oh, right.
Okay. Cocoa Crisp.
Yes. I'm almost...
Yeah, I'll say yeah too.
Yeah, he actually is a real baseball player. He plays now.
I think you told me about him.
Yeah, maybe.
That name
Coco actually
that
isn't
name
his
is
real
too
name.
Crazy not to be true.
I believe he plays for Oakland. He used to play for Boston.
Okay.
Coco Crisp is a real. Looked at it. Yeah, he's the center fielder for the Oakland Athletics. Coco Crisp.
Interesting.
Tuffy Goswitch.
I'll say no.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say no too.
Tuffy Goswitch actually, I believe right now he is the backup catcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Oh.
He used to be a catcher in the Phillies minor league system, and then they because we always used to make fun of his name, haha, Tuffy Goswitch, and then he got traded somehow, so he is no longer within their organization. Christian Ronaldo.
No.
Yes.
No,
Okay.
I just made that name up.
Oh, well, there's a guy, I think a similar name, a soccer player.
Ronaldo, I think it's a soccer player's name.
Well, that name is pretty common. So.
Oh, my
Yeah.
bad.
Trying to think of a.
You got it though.
Trying-
You got it.
Trying to think of a good one here. Antonio Alfonseca.
Yes.
No.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Used to be a pitcher for the Phillies not that long ago, maybe like 07,
Oh.
06. He was called El Pulpe, which means octopus in Spanish, because he used to have an extra finger on both hands.
Oh.
Oh.
He had 6 fingers, yeah.
I have heard of him, though.
Oh.
Oh, my bad.
And that's about it. That's all I have.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I just made that up.
Very, very nice. So that ends our game, which was very fun. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, you're welcome.
I learned something new about baseball players today. Their names.
Basically.
Coco. Yeah, Coco Crisp.
Coco, that's legit. I want to meet that man.
Seriously.
Coco
Like,
Crisp.
yeah,
He has an
Coco Crisp.
afro. Yeah, look him up. Look
I
up
wanna be your
Coco
friend.
Crisp.
That's right.
Milton Bradley, yeah.
So, our question of the week last week was brought to you by me. And the question was, what piece of music would you like to see orchestrated with animation similar to Fantasia? So who would like to go first on this? Because I actually forgot to think about my answer.
Me too.
So this is going to be a toughie.
I'll go.
Alrighty.
I'll say the 1812 Overture.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. What would you... Could you think of animation to go with it, or...
I'm thinking of, like... Well, because that's what this was written about, just like a giant battle scene.
Uh-huh.
I'll have to think
I
about that.
I think I have one.
Okay, go.
I just need to find... Okay. There's a song called... it's Remember Me, Thomas Bergerson. From the album Illusions. I would love it to be like maybe a transformation animated segment of things transforming. Like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly or something.
That'd be cool.
But like really epic, yeah.
That'd be cool.
So yeah, that's my answer.
What am I gonna go with? You know what? I'll have to go with... I'm gonna go with the Kingdom Hearts track, because why not?
Oh,
And
I was gonna go with that. Sorry, go ahead.
Which one?
It would be... It's from the Birth by Sleep soundtrack. It's called Birth by Sleep: A Link to the Future. And they play it over the opening, the ending credits. And it's kind of like a mixture of like 3 or 4 songs from the game, done in like I guess a suite is what it would be, or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's pretty good. And I would just put that in there.
Obviously. That was because the Super Nintendo Zelda game was called A Link to the Past, so that might have been a takeoff of that.
Oh, yeah, that could be. That could be.
Very true.
So it would be, I would use that. It'd be awesome.
I think we all had really good answers.
Yeah.
I like this. Okay, so now I'm going to read this week's question of the week, which is also brought to you by me. That just worked out that way.
It did.
So my question for you guys is, do you think that this movie was a catalyst for the way Americans view Christianity? And I'll tell you my reasoning behind this question. I'm reading a book right now called The Gospel According to Disney. It's basically talking about how it goes through each Disney movie and talks about where the gospel is and where it isn't in the movie. And what's interesting is that Disney has almost formed its own religion of how Americans view Christianity. That, when you pray to God, you pray for something when you need it, and if you're honest and true and work hard, you'll get what you want. And I feel like this movie kind of promotes that, but I won't go into it more, but that's why I'm asking that question, because Christianity really isn't that. it's not where you pray when you need something,
Right.
and only that. So that is my reasoning behind this question. So it's a bit of a more complex question this week, but I hope it takes us into deeper topics.
Yeah, let's see if people answer.
I hope so.
Come on.
Yeah. Listeners.
Yeah, all two of you, let's go. Come on.
Real quick, before I go into our exit, we got some feedback that I keep forgetting to read.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, so it's been a few weeks since I've read some of this. So the first one is from YouTube on our Snow White episode video.
Oh, yeah, I read this.
Yes, this is from Harvey Brown, and Harvey says, "This is beyond helpful for me. Thank you so much." Smiley face. I am from England, and my exam is in a couple of weeks. We have been assigned to compare Snow White and Enchanted. I'm very thankful that you have uploaded this. Please do more.
Helping someone out with their work.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
It really means a lot, actually. I mean, because we're doing this for fun, but we're glad that we can provide educational entertainment.
Get that A.
I'm glad that me talking about how I was dopey for Halloween when I was 3 years old helped you with your exam.
Yeah.
That's good stuff right there.
Every little thing helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you, Harvey. Your input means a lot. I should also say, our old episodes are on YouTube. They will be posted there, so, we took Snow White in our intro episode off of iTunes. So, if you're looking for our old episodes, visit our YouTube channel, which will be on our website, which I will announce in a second. But real quick, I have a little more feedback. We got something from Facebook from Jillian Radcliffe, who is a friend of mine.
Oh, I actually thought that, okay.
I know. And she sent us a video, which I will put in the show notes, where the cast of The Lion King sings The Circle of Life on a flight.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is epic in so many ways. I never knew that the Broadway version of Circle of Life was so good. I bought it on iTunes after I saw that video.
Yeah.
So, I'll put that in the show notes, but thank you, Jillian Radcliffe, for sending that to us. That's awesome. And my last bit of feedback is from Dave Tupper, who runs the show I mentioned in the beginning, Kids Adventures Hawaii. And he listened to the show. I think he must have listened to the Frozen one, because I'm pretty sure that's when I first did my Batman impression. Or maybe it was Save Mr. Banks, actually.
Oh, no.
I think that it was it was Frozen Part 2.
It might have been,
it?
yeah.
Okay. And he said, "Holy long show, Batman, 2 hours?" Smiley face.
Oh, now I get, okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So, thank you, Dave. So, go check out Dave's show, because it's pretty awesome. It talks about Disney, well, it talks about vacationing things in Hawaii, but it did talk about a little bit of Disney, which is awesome.
That's right.
And Dave's a big Disney fan.
Good.
Yes. So, that ends our show for today of Angels in the Outfield. Next week, we'll be talking about Dumbo.
Ooh.
Which I haven't seen in a while, so that will be
it's
fun.
been a long time.
Yeah. So, if you guys would like to comment on our episode, or just leave us general feedback, or answer a question of the week, or get in contact with us in any way, visit our website, www.talkmagictome.com, and that's the number 2. On there you can find all our links to social media, such as Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. You'll also find our YouTube channel on there, where all our past episodes are uploaded, or will be uploaded. You can also find our host websites, like Podomatic, where you can listen on your computer or via your phone on an app, and you can also find us on SoundCloud and on iTunes. And speaking of iTunes, rating and reviewing is very important. When you wish upon 5 stars, all of your dreams come true in the form of this podcast. So it's very important that you do that, because when people on iTunes are surfing around trying to find a new podcast to listen to, and they see one, they look in the bottom of the recommendations, your ratings will help us pop up in those recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but it helps us, just spread the word out, get some good attention. We like good attention. And
Who doesn't?
Yeah, but bad attention's good too, just don't leave us a 1-star review. But
yeah, bad attention's great.
Yeah, bad attention more like if you disagree with us about something, please comment, and we'd love to talk about it. Have a discussion about it. So yeah, and that's about it. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So that is our show for today. We hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys look forward to hearing from Jen next week telling us about her trip to Disney World.
Oh my.
Yes. Oh man. So jealous. But
It's gonna be good.
it will be. So, from all of us at Talk Magic to me, I'm Danielle.
I'm Prince Eric.
And I'm DJ JD, signing out.
See you guys next
Bye.
time. Bye.
Bye!
Welcome, everybody. No, sorry. Let me start over.
Welcome,
Look,
everybody.
I was gonna say everybody, and then everyone, and yeah, just kind of combined. Hang on 1 second.
Holding.
Yes. Hold on. Don't let go. What's that from?
Titanic.
Yeah.
Is it? Don't let go? Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
And like a bunch of other movies.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Oh, man. And everybody's like, she let him go.